Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to ScaleUp Mastermind. This is our monthly expert-driven series where we get the opportunity to talk to leading experts in their fields about ways that we can, as business owners, improve our businesses and things to consider. ScaleUp Mastermind is a program of the Center for Business and Innovation, the Thurston Economic Development Council Center for Business and Innovation, and a number of different resources through the CB&I that are available to help you as business owners, including ScaleUp. So many of you are ScaleUp alumni. That is that next level training that'll bring you from your, bring those established businesses to that's the pathway to 7 figures. We also have programs such as the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which if you've ever considered getting government contracting, that is an invaluable resource. That's free counseling for those that are looking for government contracts and how to win them. We have the Washington Center for Women in Business under the umbrella of the CB&I, and a number of coaching opportunities available there, and the Small Business Development Center as well, with our advisor, Jennifer Dye, available for coaching and counseling there as well. Again, welcome. And I would love to just take this opportunity to introduce Annette Washington. She is an expert in her field in digital marketing. She has helped a number of businesses, numerous amounts of businesses, launch successful campaigns, a wealth of knowledge. So go ahead and take it away, Annette.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, just let me know when you can see my screen.
Not yet.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
It's not good.
I know, we practiced this earlier.
I know, we just did it.
There we go.
Yahoo! There we go.
It's called user error. Okay, we got it. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about some strategies for business growth today, about marketing your business online, because that's basically what we do or what we need to be doing, especially during this time here. And hold on, because this is, there we go. All right, so about me, again, my name is Annette Washington. I'm CEO of AG Washington Web and IYBS Local. AG Washington Web is our website division, and IYBS Local, which means increase your business sales, is our online marketing division. I've been a business owner for more than 30 years. Previous to this, I was in the food business for about 20 years with restaurants and things like that. I'm also a Grow with Google local partner, which means that Google sanctions me. They don't pay me, but they sanction me to go out and spread all the good news about the free things that Google offers business owners. So I have a lot of Google My Business or Google Business Profile workshops. I'm also an online marketing educator and trainer. I do things like this on a regular basis for associations, organizations, and companies, showing small business owners how to successfully market their business online. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about 3 things, well, 2 things, and then we have a Q&A. So I'm going to talk about 3 ways to increase your business sales. There's that IYBS again. And we're going to talk about how to get it done. And we'll have a Q&A afterwards. So you can go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and James will take a look at them. And at the end of the presentation, you'll be able, well, I'll be able to answer your questions. Okay. All right, let's start. And many of you may have already heard this. And if you have not, that there's 3 ways to increase your business sales or increase the profits in your business. And this is something that came from Jay Abraham like eons ago. But it's something that still holds true today, because these 3 ways are really the way that you will increase your business. We're talking about increasing the number of new customers, increasing the number of visits, and increasing the average ticket sale. So increasing the number of new customers is getting more people to your, more visitors to your website, getting more people to your door, getting them to take any action that you want, whether it be fill out a form or something. You want to drive traffic to get some action from your customers, okay? Increasing the number of visits is something like getting them to come back more times more often. So if they're regularly coming once a month or once a week, you want them to come more times a week, a month, or a year. So that's what they increase the number of visits is. And of course, increasing the average ticket sale is sort of like your McDonald's, you want fries with that shake kind of thing. So we're going to talk about all three of those things from an online marketing point of view. So let's talk about the first one. And of course, you're going to see a lot of food pictures in here. That's because I'm still a foodie, you know, just can't get rid of it. But anyway, you can increase the number of customers who come to your door or order from your website or social assets. Now, this is one of the hardest and most expensive options because it involves paid ads, radio, TV, newspaper, social media, things that you are more than likely going to pay for to get a faster return. And with the right strategy and enough cash, this will actually work in most cases. The problem is that it could really get expensive in both time and money because you're depending on all of these other platforms to get you results. In a way, increasing the number of times the customer visits or buys, this involves getting your customers to buy more often. Like I said, if you think about the Fruit of the Month Club, or other subscription services, these come in real handy. And we're in the middle of a subscription economy. So everything you do is now subscription. If you remember back when Adobe was, you know, you can buy the Adobe Photoshop one time, you know, you can buy it singly, the product, but now you actually have to subscribe to it in order to use any of Adobe's products. So we're now in this subscription economy, and you should think about ways that you can add a subscription to your service because most everyone can. Now, increasing the average ticket sale, again, this is your typical upsell, and this is also upsell, but also including bundling, which is gathering your products or services. This is not just for people who have a product to offer, but you can do the same thing with the services that you offer your customers as well. So now we're going to break this down just a little bit more. How do you get more customers to visit your business or your website? And I'm giving you a list of targets here. I'm teaching what you know. So this is something like what I do. I teach what I know, and I get people who always want to contact me. And next thing you know, they become customers because I teach what I know. When I had the restaurant back in the day, I had created my own recipes. It was sort of like a Panera Bread where I had a bakery and a sandwich and soups. People would ask me for the recipe for some of the stuff that I prepared, and I would give them the recipe. And some other person would come behind them and say, "Well, aren't you afraid they're going to take that recipe and open a restaurant next door to you?" And I was like, no, because mostly people will take whatever you're giving them, especially in this case, the recipe. They're going to fold that recipe up, take it home, put it in the drawer, and they'll never look at it again. Now, sometimes they'll pull it out. Some may pull it out and actually try it. But the thing is that even though you're teaching what you know, people, even if they go back and try it, it's not easy. It's not as easy as they think it is. So they'll either end up calling you and asking you for help or asking you to do it for them. So don't be afraid to teach what you know. There's also blog articles, email marketing, link sharing, email signature. You know, you can put things in your email signatures, little banners, little links that go to different places that you want to drive traffic to. There's referrals, retargeting. I'm not sure if many of you know what retargeting is. Many of you may, but just in case, it's if you remember going to a website like Nordstrom or Men's Warehouse, and you looked at some specific piece of clothing or some shoes, but you didn't buy and you left. Now, depending on which retargeting pixel they have on their website, if you go to Facebook, all of a sudden you'll start seeing these ads for the same thing that you just looked at. Or if it's not on Facebook, if they don't have that type of pixel, then everywhere else you go, that's not related. So recipe sites, CNN, your sports channels, even just local news. you'll start seeing these same ads. That's called retargeting. And it's something that's very easy to do because you're just dropping a pixel on the browser of whoever visits your website. And this is a great way to build a pixel list. And once you do that, these are people who are absolutely interested in what you're offering because they visited your site. You can't get any better quality or qualified customers or leads than the ones that have visited your site. If they had no interest, they wouldn't be there. So you can actually create a marketing program, whether it be Facebook ads or Google ads, that will only show to the people that have been to your website. So that's the magic of retargeting. And then of course, Google My Business, which is now changed the name, and I did not change it, but it's now a Google Business Profile. It's no longer Google My Business. And Google is notorious for changing the name of their products. So everyone has to go back to all of their presentations and change it. Of course, I didn't do it, but just so you know. And then there's video, there's text message marketing, which is very, very powerful even now, because everyone, especially now, everyone carries their phone around with them. They live by their phones. So if you were to create a text message marketing program, this is something that is instant. And we'll talk about that later. And of course, social media. I wanted to take a second to talk about the blog articles. Blog articles, infographics, and other content that you created for your business, whether you have it, dig out the ones that you had, the old ones, you can update those and present them again. You can repost old articles, and also on your blog, you can add your own ads. So yes, if you were using Google's, I forgot what they call that program, but where they show other people's ads on your site, you can also add your own ads. And that's basically just taking a Canva, going to Canva, creating a little banner and putting it in between your blog article. Why would you do that? Well, if you're writing an article about shoes and you are selling shoes, then why not put an ad for shoes for a specific type of shoe that people can click on and go to your site and buy the shoes, go to the shopping page and buy the shoes. Why not? They're already reading about shoes, so they're absolutely interested in reading about shoes. So this is a great thing because once you do that, you will create like either a post on Facebook, or you can do an email marketing and send it to your email list. Once you send it to your email list, though, you ask your list to share it with their friends. Now, this is golden because when they share it with their friends, you are now getting new customers without having to pay for it. I mean, that's what makes it golden. You don't pay a dime because they are just virally sharing your article with their friends and associates and whoever. So when someone else goes to your website and they see that same article with that ad, you click on the ad, then you've got a new customer. And it does work like that. This is not pie in the sky. It actually does work. All right, so we've talked about how to increase the number of new customers. Now we're going to move on to how do I get more customers to buy from me more frequently. And here we are again with our little list. As I talked about before, the subscription service, a continuity programs, things that same thing. That's that we want you to continue buying. So all of the MLM places, they're notorious for getting you to get on that auto pay. Auto pay. I'm not a fan of auto pay, but everybody wants you to auto pay. So that's that continuity. It just keeps going. Loyalty programs. This is another thing, another strategy that you can use to get people to purchase from you frequently. Back-end products, meaning like whatever you're selling, is there something else that you can sell after that? You've seen a lot in the internet world, it's like OTOs. So it's something else you can sell them that's related to what they've already purchased. So this happens after they buy. Then they get an email or they'll go sent to a website that sells them something else that is complementary to what they've already purchased. There's joint ventures. This is another area that a lot of small business owners just don't do because for whatever reason, they're afraid they don't want they don't want to bother someone, or they don't want to, I'm not sure of the reasons, but if you think about a complimentary service that goes hand in hand with what you have, like a restaurant and a wine business, a winery, or a wine business, or somebody that sells wine, or chocolate and wine, so why not put your list together and market to their customers, and they market to yours, because they go together. So joint ventures work very well also. The next job, now this, if you have a home services business and you're doing, I don't know, maybe doing the lawn, and you find out that, this is your lawn business. And then you find out that maybe they have a garden that's been unattended. You can say, okay, the next job, I also do gardening, so we can clean this out and set it up, or something like that. Or I also do window washing. I notice that your windows are all dirty. So you can promote the next job to get them to say, you're right, I could use that. So then there again, now you have another, that customer again, to pay for a new service. Advanced sales. You've seen this with back in the day with the video games. And books, they do that with books also. Get it in advance. Put your name on the list, because when it comes out, it's going to be more, or when it comes out, you'll be the first one to have it. That's advanced sales. Also, if you have a service or a product that is high end, offering payment options is also a way to get people who probably wouldn't come up with a $3,000 $3,000 that it takes to buy your product. But if you offer it to them in three payments, and of course you're going to tack on a little more to each payment, because $3,000, if you pay it now, is $3,000. But if I give you 3 payments, then you're going to knock out 3 payments, adding $50 or $100 to the payment each time. So you end up with $3,500 instead of $3,000. But that person was able to purchase it because that one of 3 payments they can manage that better than they can manage that big chunk at one time. Then in frequent buyer programs, of course, if you have people who purchase from you on a frequent basis, this is like those little cards with the little 1, 2, 3, 4, and you kind of punch those punch cards. That's what they're called. So you can create something like that electronically. Now, these things don't have to be all offline, but offline also works if you want to do the actual card. But I would suggest this is something you can put together with a loyalty program that's online, a digital program. And then bundling, like I talked about before, statement stuffers. If you're sending, this would work if you're doing and transactional. So your transactional email, when someone buys something from your shop, at the bottom of the email, you usually see something that says, people also bought. But this is in the email, not on the site. Or try these other things that are all complementary or similar to. And Amazon does this also in email. So these are things that you can do as a small business owner also, because they're not expensive. It just takes a little bit of time to put it together, but you only have to put it together once. The work only comes one time, and then you can use it over and over again by just changing out whatever product. So you don't have to create the actual email all over again and again. Okay, so now we talked about increasing the number of visits. Now, how do I increase the average ticket sale? Of course, upsell. You can upsell, it's like impulse buys when you go to the store and there's candy on this side, and now it's more electronics that you see on the other side, little cords for your phone, and mostly iPhones, but that's an upsell that you can do this also. No matter what business you have, there's something that is tied to it, or that you can tie to it, that you can upsell for. Quantity discounts. If you can get someone to purchase for a whole year instead of one time, or 6 months, twice a year. So give them the option, because you never know if people are going to do it or not. Don't try and guess for them. Don't try and say, oh, they're not going to, because a lot of, as business owners, I know this, a lot of small business owners and mid-sized businesses do the same. They'll look at a person, or they'll kind of guess that, oh, they don't look like they have much money, so I know they won't buy a quantity discount. But you don't know unless you ask. So either put it in an email, if they're coming to your store or your business, you can ask them right there. You'd be surprised how many people say, you know what, that's a good idea, so I don't have to do this again. Cross-selling, selling products that are similar or complementary. Price discount, joint ventures are back on that again, and bundles. So these are a lot of things that you can use to increase the average transaction as well. Impulse buys, creating new products and services, limited time offers. So if you have a special product or service, and let's say it's something new, let's say you have a new product or service and you want to get everybody used to actually, or introduce it to someone. So let's say for a week or a day or 3 days, depending on how big your list is, you can say, hey, we are offering this new product or new service. We're having it at a discount. It's normally this price, and it's this price, but it's only good for 3 days. Sign up now. This also works when you need a bunch of cash in a hurry. These are good instant income strategies as well. And I didn't put this one on here, but this is the end of the year. So this is something that I use myself every single year. If you need to get some extra cash at the end of the month, end of the year, sales will do it, no matter what you have. I have a service business, so it works for me as well. You just write to your customers and send them an email saying, or a video or social media, however you do it, whatever the traffic source is, it doesn't matter. But what you're telling them is, it's end of the year. You normally get this product or service, every, once in a blue moon. But you know what? If you sign up for a year, I do that with web, not web hosting, but web maintenance and support. You're paying this on a monthly basis, I say. And then I say, if you paid it for the year, I knock off a little bit, but you pay it one time and you're all set for the rest of the year. You'd be surprised how many of my customers will do this every single year. So if you're trying to get a smack bunch of cash at one time before the end to close out the year, this is a good way to do that. And training what works together. That didn't really come out right, but what that means is, like with Lane Bryant. Lane Bryant is good at this. If you went to their website, they're selling the pants, the leggings, and they'll say, this is what goes well with that. So they'll say, this is a top, this is a hat, or even some shoes, and it'll have this plus this plus this. Get the whole package, so you can hit that button and get the whole package. So you want to start thinking of what works together. What products or services do you have that you can put together and offer a what works together kind of thing every time someone purchases something from your site, or from you as a a business owner doing a consultation or something like that. And then instant follow-up also does it. So after they purchase, you should always have a welcome and thank you. Welcome, I'm so glad you're here. This is a welcome and thank you email. Or even a call. I mean, a call is golden too, because people don't get those these days. They get email, but email or a text message also. Welcome and thank you for coming on board, or thank you for purchasing. And you don't want to do this, I said instant, but depending on what the product is, like if they buy something and they have to try it first, you got to give them a chance to try it first. So give them maybe 4 days, 5 days, maybe in a week, and then do that follow-up call or follow-up email and say, hey, you've had our product for about 7 days now. What do you think? Are you having trouble? Were you able to access? All those things you can put in there, but it also drives people to buy, because in the same email, you can give them that either what works together or a limited time offer. So you can mix and match everything on this list, and it's very, very effective. Let's see. So we've actually gone through all three. Now we're going to talk about getting our hands dirty. Let's get it done. This stuff excites me, so excuse me if I just break out laughing. Anyway, let's talk about improving the customer experience. And I probably just spilled the beans on a lot of this stuff as I was explaining, going through the three strategies there. That's providing multiple payment options, offering guest checkout, instead of having them fill out the your name, address, and phone number, and all that stuff you make when someone buys something, they have to fill out that big long form. As long as you get the email, you're good, because then you can get the rest of the information afterwards. Adding a one-step buy button to your site or to your checkout. So all they have to do is hit the button, and they go straight to the checkout without having to go through the normal steps. Displaying social media proof. Now, this is a big thing also. If you have customers who are either doing Google, or leaving reviews on Google or Yelp or anywhere else, you can actually add those to the page of whatever you're selling, because social proof works. People follow people. So if you put some video testimonials or even just written testimonials about this specific product that you're or service that you're offering on your page, on your sales page, people read those. And now they say, oh, you know what? Someone else has had an experience, and a good experience, a whole lot of someone else's. I like to put a video testimonial, at least one, on a sales page about, they're talking about the product that you're, or service that you are selling on that page. Make everything relevant. Don't just throw a whole bunch on there that make no sense, because then they'll say, oh, this is not the same thing. So we want to talk about the product or service that you're offering on that sales page. If you don't have the videos, then just copy and paste or you can, if you have a WordPress site or a site that you have control over, you can get a plugin that will pull in that information also, but it won't segment it. In other words, it'll be just everybody. And we really want to stick with whatever product or service you're offering. So if you can just copy and paste the ones that pertain to that sales page, then that'll be good. Or sales, the product or service you're offering. Page load speed. Google, of course, did their nice little algorithm that they do change, the algorithm change that they do periodically, and throws all your stuff out the window. I mean, it used to come up and it doesn't come up anymore. A lot of times, or at least now, this page speed is a big thing, and they call it core web vitals. That means if your website is slow, then they're not going to give you the love that they will give faster websites. And there's a lot of things you can do to increase your page load speed, but it depends on what platform you are using on your website. Like if you're doing website builders, you're at the mercy of of whoever's, if it's GoDaddy's or you're at their mercy. So I'm sure they have something, hopefully, but I don't like website builders, so I don't use them. But I know that some of them are slower than others, and depending on how long you've had it, if it's like way back when, then it's time for you to probably get a new website or start using their hopefully newer website builder. And of course, a mobile friendly website, because Google is mobile first. Everything is mobile first with Google. All right, 1 or 2 doors, meaning that the two doors is either a walk-in business and an e-commerce website. In other words, you have a storefront, but you also have you're selling online. So this is 2 doors, and you have twice as many chances to get people, if they can't come into your site, to your store, they can order online. So you have 2 doors. The things that you want to put on there is some type of action. Even when you're sending out email, whatever you do, you always want to include something that will make the visitor, recipient, caller, anything, take some type of action. Whether it's call, whether it's schedule, whether it's purchase, or whether it's download. Download a lead magnet, purchase, buy something, limited time offer, like I was talking about before, schedule an appointment, or give us a call. And I didn't put text on here, but text is a good one also. The delivery method, whatever you're telling them to do, then this is how you're going to give it to them, whether it's workshops or webinars or consultation or the actual downloaded document. These are just things that This is the action and this is delivery method. So what I'm telling you is whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that you're getting people to take some type of action. That's the point of this. Whether it's the door, sorry. Whether it's the coming to your site or ordering online. Again, put it on your website. Add a link to your online calendar. Add an e-commerce element to your website so that visitors can buy from you. Create lead magnets that allow visitors to trade their email address for something of value that they can download right away.
It's a totally okay, Annette. We all have dogs.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
But he usually doesn't do that. He's usually pretty good, but but just because I'm doing this. All right, so SMS campaigns, that's text messages. These are something that I would, if you're not doing this, then this is something that you will absolutely need to incorporate as of yesterday. There, you can build a message marketing campaigns that go straight to your customer's mobile phone. Why? Texts are popular. They're a guaranteed read. They'll read the text before they read the email. They're instant. They're intimate because it's personal between you and them. They don't get lost, and it's affordable. So if you're not doing the text message thing, talk to me. We can get you there. There are lots of low cost, or I don't know any no cost ones, but I definitely know low cost text texting platforms that you can hook yourself up with and start using, and you'll see the power of it, because there are so many things you can send images, you can send links. There's just so many things you can put in a text message now. And like I said, they get it instantly. So, and now you're not spamming them. They are going to sign up. This is one of those actions that you're going to give them to do. Sign up to get text updates or something like that. So they are signing up for it. This is not something you can do cold call, because then you will get in trouble with the text gods. Trust me, they will find you. They will hunt you down and they will find you. And then you don't want that. Anyway, so this is retargeting website visitors. Again, I've already spilled the beans about that, but I can't reiterate. This is another thing. So text messaging and retargeting. This is, you can go to Facebook, and even if you're not doing Facebook ads, it doesn't matter. Get the pixel, put it on your site, because what you're doing, just like you can build up an email list, well, now you're building up a pixel list. And what that means is that pixel is good for at least 180 days, up to 180 days. That's 6 months. That means in 6 months, if you decide to do a Facebook ad, everybody that's been to your site within those 6 months will get that ad, will see that ad. And again, these are people who have visited your website. These are qualified people, the qualified visitors. They know you, and they want what you have, or at least they were curious about what you have, because they went to your website. So it's a less kind of cold thing. And it also means that you're not going to pay that much money, as your results will be better. So your return on investment will be better, because now you're talking to people who know of you because they've been there, and they're somewhat interested, if not fully interested, in what you have to offer. So you can do this on the sales pages, the landing pages that people go to. Let's say you do a campaign, a marketing campaign for a widget, and when they click the button, they go to the widget page. So if you have your Facebook pixel on that widget page, then these people are interested somewhat in that widget. So you can send them another, if they didn't buy, especially if they didn't buy this time, or even if they did and they want to buy again, you can do this campaign over and over again. So it works very well. Now I'm going to go a little bit into list building techniques. This is another one. Again, text messaging, retargeting, and email. So many business owners hate email. And they say, and they don't want to do the email. They don't want to send the email because they're saying, I don't like getting email. I hate email. So I don't want to do that to my customers. This is what they say. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want them to unsubscribe, but you do want them to unsubscribe. If they are not interested, you don't want to send them email. Why would you send them email if they're not interested? But there are people who will be interested, and that's the ones you want to talk to. A lot of times, the reason that no one likes email is because they're getting a bunch of junk email. If you think about when you check your email, there's always at least one company, at least one, that you always open. There's always one email that you either look forward to opening, and I'm not talking about ones from friends, I'm talking about from businesses, from companies, organizations, or whatever it is. There's always at least one that you are opening. You want to be that email in your customer's inbox. That's the one you want to be. So you don't want to send them spam, but you want to send them something of value all the time. And if you're doing that, then they're always going to be opening your email. And they become familiar with you, they like you. So when you do send them an offer, they are more than likely going to say, you know what, I'm going to try this. This person talks about this all the time, and he sends us, it gives us downloadables or whatever. They like you, and that's the ones you want to do. That's who you want to be in their inbox. So I'll get off my soapbox about that because I hear that all the time. All right, some list building ideas. What that means, or when I say list building, in case you don't know, is we're trying to build our customer list, because you always hear the term, the money is in the list, but it's actually the money is in the relationship to the list. And this is where we're going back to this past thing I just said about that email in your customer's inbox. So you want to get them to sign up to get on your list. And some of the ways you've seen that when you go to a website and it says, download the 7 ways to use this widget. Well, you want to create something like that, or and it's not just a PDF. It could be anything. You just have to be a little more creative sometimes, depending on what type of business you're in. So you can do guest blogging. You can offer a free course, host a webinar, add a video call to action, add social proof to your opt-ins. And we talked about social proof before. You can run a contest. And these are all ways to get people on your list. And I put add retargeting pixel because that builds up a pixel list, not so much an email list, but it still works. And I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of some of the lead magnets, but real quick, I want to talk about some social proof examples, which would be testimonials, case studies, trust badges, security seals. In other words, if you're a member of some prestigious group that's associated with the service you offer or your expertise, then put those badges on there because it's showing people that you know what you're talking about. Honors, awards, any types of memberships. This all fits under the social proof window. So this is an example of a lead magnet. So social media marketing industry report. Again, when you get information, people don't like to fill out a whole bunch of, if they're on the, think about it, they're looking at this on the phone and you have like 25 questions for them to fill out and then hit send me a copy. The chances of them filling out, the more boxes you add, the less chance that people are going to fill it out. So remember, you can do it in 2 steps. You can put this in here, enter your first name and your email, and then when they hit send me a copy, you can return with the rest of the form. If you need that information before you can start whatever it is, you've already captured the main information, which is their email. Okay, so you can go ahead and say, okay, fill out the rest of this, and it's less it's less like for the customer, and you're like, oh man, I got to fill all this stuff out. So so make your what you're asked, make it very short. Just name. Some people do first name, last name, which you can do that also. But the more boxes you add, the less chances of more, people filling them out. Some still will, and it also depends on what you're offering as well. Some, if you're offering $100 Visa card, then they'll probably fill out whatever you want. Maybe because a lot of people are skeptical now, so they may not believe that anyway. So, especially if you don't know them. Here's the quiz. Quizzes are also, you watch, like if you see like BuzzFeed and all those, they're really big on the quiz, and they get a lot of they build a list. I mean, they must have like 1 million people on their list, but this is a way to build a list. If you have something that, depending on the type of product or service you have, you can create these quizzes. And again, you don't want to do 20 questions because you're probably not going to take the quiz unless it's at the, there's something, depending on what it is and what your service is. But you can do this, and in the quiz, you can ask them at the end for the results, or you can ask them in the beginning. I mean, for their email, or you can ask them in the beginning. So you have a couple of different ways of asking them. If they're taking a quiz and they want the results, then they have to send their email to get the results, and just make the results seem like really cool. You can put it in a, don't just say yes you did or no you didn't. You're going to put it in a form, and or a video. You can do a video also. There's so many ways to do all of this, the strategies here, and all of the campaign, set up the campaigns and things like that. You can use what's comfortable to you, but also what's comfortable to your target audience, or keeping that in mind. These are pop-ups and slide-ins. You've probably seen pop-ups. When you go to the website, you get this big pop-up. Some people do not like that, but depending on what it is, again, and depending on your audience, some people do. They don't mind this, and it always says like join our VIP club. In some cases, you want to be a little more blue ocean, if I can say. You don't, join our VIP club or sign up for our newsletter. Now, why would I want to? Now, this is one of those cases, like, why would I want to sign up for your newsletter? Give me more email. That's just what I want. There's nothing that drives me to sign up for your newsletter, because I don't even know what it's about. So you want to write, what is it that, or you want to write about what it is that would be of value to your audience. And that's what you want to give them. If you're going to give them, if it's the newsletter, then you got to tell them it's not the newsletter, it's the information in the newsletter that you're giving them. So talk about the information in the newsletter, not sign up for my newsletter. I mean, a lot of people just have one thing, an email, a name, sign up for our newsletter. I don't know how much action they get, but it's probably not a whole lot, because I don't know anybody that's, like, oh, let me get on your email list. Okay, email campaigns. All right, so this is, again, start with an email explaining what services you are offering. How are you going to, now in this case, this is like for COVID. Some businesses still have, are still, some people are still kind of leery of getting out. So, and your customer, your target audience. If they're older, then you might want to put something in there that says you want to keep your customers safe. The hours of operation, especially if you're doing hours that are just for seniors or something like that. Because that would be information they can use if you're open at 7 to 8, just so they can do that. And that's if you have a storefront, of course. If you're just doing online, then they can order from you at any time. But sometimes they have to pick up, or sometimes they have to go there. I mean, there's no way around it. So these are some of the things that you can do. And then nurturing loyal customers. If your business has a customer loyalty program, and we talked about that briefly, this is something that can grow your list also. If you're saying, like you saw that other lead magnet that said join our VIP club, again, I would definitely say what the benefit of joining my VIP club, not just join our club, but here's what you're going to get if you're a part of this program. No one else, it's exclusive to you. No one else is going to get it. And whatever that it is what's of value to your target audience. Email marketing, there's a lot of people think, can you really make money with email marketing? Actually, email marketing is growing. Now, this is a 2018 stat, but if you were to look at the ones from, they don't keep up that well with them. So you can probably find them for 2020. They are much higher than 30. I think they're up to like $45 or $50 for every dollar the business invests in email marketing. They receive it's something like 40 something to 50 something dollars now these days. It has the highest return on investment, and it's been around forever, and it will be around forever as well. Again, it's how you, it's what you do with it, it's what you put in that email. So you have to be very, just in knowing your target audience, you have to be very careful about creating this email because you want it to appeal to them. You want them to open it and want to open it over and over again. So there are like subject lines and then there's the body of the message, body of the email. The subject line actually gets people to click. So having a good subject line gets people to click. Having a good body, a message in the body gets people to take some type of action. So you want them to sign up or whatever it is, because you're going to add some type of action in everything that you do. How am I on time? Am I doing okay?
We are 10 minutes to the end, but typically, Annette, you don't have to rush through everything. We do, if we do have quite a few people that will stick around. If there are any pressing questions, however, I'd encourage everybody to put them into the chat so we can answer them if you are on a time crunch.
Yeah, I'm just about finished anyway. So this is just the integrating email with your social media. And I got this from Opt-in Monster, and it says a lot. What is email marketing good for, and what is social media good? And if I can add one last thing before we end, it's when you use social media, you have to remember social media by itself is not going to get you more customers. Just because you have 10,000 followers doesn't mean that you're getting 10,000 people to buy your stuff. Your goal with any social media is to get those people off of social media and into your owned OWNED assets, into your owned assets. So your goal or objective is to get them off of there. So by giving them something to do, and the action they take is going to get them to your website or to sign up, or whatever action you want them to do, it's still going to be into your owned assets. Facebook, that's not yours. They can flick you off anytime they want. It does not belong to you. So you're in their playground. So use them, but get your prospects and leads off of there. And that one was using Google Analytics to find out if social media is working for you or not. Okay, so we're into the Q&A. So if you have any questions, this is a good time to put them in or ask.
Yeah, and since we don't have any pending questions in the box, feel free to come off mute and ask the questions.
My name's Bill. I'm with the Majestic Soap Studio, and I was wondering about the Pixel. What do you call it?
Your Pixel?
Yeah, the Pixel.
Yes. What was the question?
How does that work?
Okay, so if you go into, depending on, there's quite a few other companies that do ads. So it's an ad pixel. So basically, it's a piece of code that you're going to put on your website or your landing page, your sales page. So when someone visits that page, it's going to drop some code on their browser. Oh. So, until they clear the cache, and that's the secret. If you're getting all these ads and you want to get rid of them, then clear the cache on your browser. But if you visit it again, it just starts over again.
Okay, so where do you obtain the code? Sorry to interrupt somebody.
Oh, that's okay. The code for Facebook, you would just go into the Facebook Business Manager. So you have to have a Business Manager account, and then you can go in there and download the pixel, and then you upload it to your website. If you're using Google or some other ad program, they provide their own pixel for you or either a plugin for you to put onto your website.
Okay, so the plugin.
Yeah, some have plugins, some just have code. It depends on what type of ad program who you're using. Like Ad Espresso has a plugin. The company that I use, we have code. We have to put code on there. And then, of course, Facebook, you just download the code and add it to your website. Again, if you're being bombarded by ads, and all you have to do is clear your cache. But if you do that now, it's going to clear all your, places you've been and stuff like that. And you may not want to do that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. Anyone else?
Annette, we've got somebody. We've got. Sorry. Urania, in the chat, she's talking about getting people off social media seems like a real long shot for small businesses, given the addictive nature of the platforms themselves.
Oh, no, I don't mean that to get them to leave Facebook. What I'm saying is you want to give them, let's say in one of your posts, like if for instance, the blog, if you have a blog article on your website and you're going to go post that on Facebook, but you're not going to post the whole article. You're just going to find the juiciest part and you're going to put that as part of that's your post. And then either continue reading underneath, or read more. I always use continue reading, or just continue, because now they're going to click and they're going to go to your site. And that's what I mean by getting them off. You're giving them incentive or something that will get them onto your site. Or if you have a lead magnet and you put that on Facebook and they click the button, then they're going to go to your lead magnet, fill out the form, and then all of a sudden they're now part of your customer list. If you're same thing happens if you own a food business and you're using third-party delivery companies. Create a flyer, put it in every bag, because now you're giving them the opportunity to order from your site instead of the delivery, except for delivery. If they can come by and get it, then that's great. And they don't, anyway. Next.
So it's creating those your own list, right? So
Yeah,
that
exactly.
if for whatever reason they decide, hey, we're not doing business support anymore, then you don't lose all of your effort.
Exactly, you don't lose it, and you can use it and grow it by getting them to talk about your stuff to their friends. Anyone else?
Yeah, so my name is Rick, and so I own a frozen yogurt location.
Mhm.
And we recently just bought out the franchisor. And so
Okay.
now I got them all.
Wow.
And one of the things that I'm looking at doing is, okay, I need to help increase sales for each of the locations. And so I'm getting prepared to do, some marketing, and of course, digitally is the best way to go. And I'm sitting here looking at multiple vendors. Okay, because I don't have time to do it all myself, right?
Right.
And they all say that they're digital marketing. Okay, and of course I'm getting different flavors, and it's like I'm sitting here, what's the best? What am I going to do? So here's the thing: I've got one company that's saying, oh, well, we're, I think you mentioned it earlier, a Google partner or something like that. And they want to do some photography of our location and put it up on our Google site. And their big thing is SEO. I got another one that, it's like, oh, well, we do a whole lot of video type of stuff, and they're really good at doing video content. And they'll go in and create a bunch of video content for us and then post it on social media. Okay, but where am I going to get the best bang for my buck? Because I got two different goals with my marketing. One, the first goal is increase sales for each of the locations. So location information has to be in there. And then the second goal is once I start bringing them up, and getting those each individual locations starting to make some more money and becoming profitable. Now I'm going to start shifting my focus, and I'm looking at trying about spring to shift focus to try to grab more people interested in opening their own franchise location.
Okay.
But first I need to support the ones that I've got.
Right, I understand. Okay. All right, so first, Google partner and Google certified, two different things. And this is another thing. A lot of times the Google people who are Google certified will call you and say, oh, something's wrong with this. And if you don't fix it, then it's going to cost you this much money. Be aware of that. So let me just say, like that company that said he's doing SEO, that's what they're doing, SEO, but they've gone and taken the test and became certified as a Google certified partner. That doesn't mean they're not shady. It just means that they're a Google certified partner and they took the test and passed. Okay, because I know this part. Me, it's just a partner. It means I hold workshops. To tell the difference like which one you would use, I don't have an answer for that because I don't know. It kind of depends. I understand what you want, what it is you want, but I do want to say that whoever you use, always make sure you ask for the out. This is one big thing that a lot of small businesses don't do, which means that they sign paperwork and don't read the whole thing. And then when they want to get out of it because it didn't work, then that's when all the costs come and things like that. So always ask, what if I don't want to do this anymore? What will happen? Is there a contract? I mean, what happens to my stuff is probably more important, because a lot of times be careful of the ones that say they're going to do things with your Google business profile, because they may be, they really can't create another one. But if you let them in, again, do not give them your
Don't give them the keys to the kingdom.
Don't give them the keys to the castle. You already know that part. That's good. Make them a user, a manager, as if you want them to do that. That's the only way you do it. Okay. As far as I understand, you have 2 customers, and one you're concentrating on right now is the franchises that you have right now. The second customer would be people who are looking. So that's 2 different groups that you're going to be talking to. Getting the sales in the current location, again, there's just there's so much out there and so many things. The fastest, who knows the fastest one? It may have worked for somebody else, but it may not work for you. There is just a lot of things that you can do. And who to choose, I don't know. I usually vet. This is one of the things that I do for my customers is they'll say, hey, this person called me, or this person sent me an email, or they'll just forward the email to me, and I'll check them out for them. Now, that doesn't mean I'll say just use them or no use them. I'll just say they're reputable. They have a history, I've talked to them, even if I talk to them. So that's the only way. As far as who to use, I don't have an answer for that one. And as far as what to do to get, just which one has the biggest buck, I can't say right now, but it's something that I can actually work on if you want to give me and shoot me an email later.
Build your list.
I'm not going to say, I was going to say, I'm not going to spam you, but no, I don't do that. But that's what I'm saying. I can't answer that on at spur of the moment kind of thing, because it takes a whole lot more to get
right. And it was a generalized question, what's more important, putting content out there, or addressing your SEO type of activity?
Well, it depends on how bad your website is. Content, I would say go with the content, but it's what's specific content that's a whole other, that's still a whole lot to choose from. But if you do, like, go to Google, do you show up in Google at all?
Oh, yeah.
If someone types yogurt in your city, do you show up?
Yep.
Okay. So,
yeah, we're usually the top pick.
They're not putting your name in, right? They don't know the name.
Right. You just type in ice cream and or frozen yogurt, and you're within our market area. Yeah, we show up.
Okay. Well then,
and we're usually in 1 or 2.
Okay. Well then, did that SEO person send you a report of what's wrong or anything like that? Did you get anything like that from them?
No.
No. Well then, you might want to consider it. Still keep it on the list, but maybe not the first thing you want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have F. Lacer Hayes with this with their hand up.
Oh, okay. I can't see any of that stuff. Go ahead.
That's all right. Thank you very much. I tried to put my picture up, didn't happen. I am running into a dilemma. I have, since I semi-retired as a fiction author, I am now collating HCAs, which are home care assistants.
Mm-hmm.
With HIPAA requirements, etc. I've run most of the contact information through my nonprofit. I'm just kind of wondering how to fuse these 2 lists in with each other. I don't want to make profit on the caregivers that we're placing. I feel a moral imperative to get both elders and those who have had injuries the care they require without paying me to find their human being.
Okay, you say the two lists, merge the two lists together. What are the HCA is the one list, right? And what's the other list?
I'm also an HCA, and then I offer specific palliative care. I not only embrace that individual's religion, whether it be pagan, Catholic,
Right, okay.
Islam, I'm just wondering, when I take a client, that becomes a profit for me because I'm an independent provider. I'm a semi-retired triage nurse, but I'm also licensed in my state of Washington as an HCA. I don't want to run into any difficulties or dilemmas with conflict of interest with my nonprofit as I'm listing, the Barnes, the Barnes Act, etc. I don't want the IRS coming in, taking my cabin in the woods, saying so.
Wow, I think that is conflict of interest, don't you think? I mean, how can it not be?
Yeah, I'm very specific. So I should take my name off of the list. I was thinking, I need to also find an attorney in Seattle who can help me with.
Yes, you can probably answer that question. Yeah, definitely, because I don't have that much information. I can tell you what you can use to get more traffic, especially as a nonprofit. You can use the Google for nonprofits. If you're not into that, then that's something that's free, and they give you $10,000 worth of ads. So I can tell you that stuff, but I can't tell you.
Both of my nonprofits. I started one during the pandemic, and then I've got a honeybee. I've been involved with the Honeybee Preservation Coalition since 2006.
Okay.
Thank you for reiterating. I was wondering, when it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, I generally find it is a duck.
Yeah, but speak with an attorney, because I'm, like I said, I wouldn't merge those two lists together anyway. Those are two separate. I would keep them separate.
Yeah, people just contact me because in the area I am kind of the only one that works, especially with the palliative care.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's great. Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Were there any other questions for Annette before we wrap things up?
This is Orlantha with the Washington MBDA Business Center.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Orlantha. I know you.
Hi. Yes,
Well,
hi, Annette. How are you? Yeah. I've enjoyed what I was able to catch. I was just going to say, whoever was speaking last, I put my email in the chat. There's a way to connect you with an attorney that is providing some consultations for how to do business in the city of Seattle. And I believe that it's going to be a sponsored one-on-one. So please just email me, and then we can follow up tomorrow, and I can connect you with him in that organization.
Awesome, thank you.
That was Lacer, F. Lacer Hayes.
Okay, yes, I put my email in there.
Okay.
Awesome. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining us tonight on ScaleUp Mastermind. I will have this, as I put in the chat there, uploaded to our Thurston EDC YouTube channel, and I will also have this available on our ScaleUp Alumni Network. So for now, have a great night and happy holidays, and we will see you next year in January.
Thank you.